Hello everyone, welcome back to another installment in the Can I Gold Every Track of the Day series. Today we will be going over the tracks for September of 2020. If you have missed either the August or July 2020 compilation videos, be sure to go check those out. I will link to a playlist in the description to those. With that said, here is the video for September of 2020. Enjoy. Starting us off here on September 1st is Hillside Highway by Blurious. This track is a pretty easy one to start off the month. Have a bit of grass, dirt, and a regular road on this one. But overall, it's a fairly easy one here. It only took me a couple minutes to get this one done. Maybe the only tricky part here is the ending, where you might have problems making the finish. You have a bit of a jump to it, but otherwise, I mean, just drive what's in front of you and you should have no problems with this one. The track of the day for September 2nd is Antarctica by Rego X. Interesting start on this one, start out backwards and then have to turn around. This was, yeah, mostly ice here. I'm not the greatest at ice, so this took me a little bit of time, but overall wasn't too bad. Got a bit of a jump here into like a half bobsled. Not really sure what these parts are called. It's not a full bobsled, but we'll call it a half bobsled. But really, this track was pretty easy. If you're good at ice, you should have no problems with it. I think it ends off with a bobsled as well. This half bobsled. Then a wall ride that you got to go up a little bit to the finish line. The track of the day for September 3rd is Doby by Doika. This, once again, like the first one, has all different types of track surfaces with road, dirt, and grass. Lots of nice transitions, pretty smooth track overall. Lots of wall rides, lots of loops. I'm pretty sure this is full speed as well. I did maybe brake here or there, don't quite remember. But I did remember enjoying this track a bit. And overall, it wasn't too bad. Just, again, like the track for the first of the month, just follow what's given to you and you should have no problems with that. Just keep the pedal on the metal as well. And then here, just a upside down finish through the loop. The track of the day for September 4th was Cold Hands by Kyle A26. Pretty short track here, not a lot to it. I'd say really the only massively difficult part was having enough speed to get to the risky finish, although there is a regular finish. But you know, you gotta take that risky one. Just have to have enough speed, otherwise you just bounce all over the place and cannot make it. Like right here, I did bounce quite a bit, but still ended up getting it, no problem. The track of the day for September 5th was Neo Kyoto by Ext Soro. This one proved to be a bit of a challenge with a couple of very difficult tech turns. That first one, you just auto drift by landing sideways there. I just let off the gas a little bit to make that one. Here's the first pretty difficult one, hard drift on that to basically 180. Right here, you need to go inside that pipe in order to make it smoothly up. And then here is the next very difficult one, another hard 180. And then just cruise to the finish after that little bit of a turn there. The track of the day for September 6th was Velp Mini 02 by Velp. Pretty interesting, very short track here. Just hammer on the gas the entire way. Don't need to really drift anywhere or really let go of the gas at any point. Just really just hammer it. And there's the finish already for us. I do believe I got an author on this one as well, so that was pretty nice. The track of the day for September 7th was Airashi by a name I cannot quite pronounce, so I'm not even going to try. I will absolutely butcher it. But right there you can see I jumped through the supports of that bridge. Don't have to, but you know, gotta go for those style points. This track, I mean, pretty straightforward here. Do you know there's a big dirt section coming up right here? Easily bonkable getting in there. But really this is where you can make up some time on the gold if you did not have the greatest starts. And I was behind gold for the majority of this track, even up until like right before the finish. So even if you're behind, don't give up on this one. As you can see, I will pass gold there, but then I'll fall behind again through this section. But gold majorly messes up at the end here. So you will be fine. The track of the day for September 8th was Undercover by Toxilisk. Pretty sure this was a full speed track, even though I did let off the gas at some points and I did drift one section that I probably didn't need to drift later on. It's another one of those tracks where, you know, just take what's given to you. There's really not much that's too surprising about it. Not much really to commentate on until there is a wall ride a bit later on here. Should be coming up after we enter here. This is the only issue I had with this. I had to drift this. Otherwise I would get so much air I could not turn off of this wall. But really the rest of it's full speed. We got the loop here and that will take us to the finish. The track of the day for September 9th was Mountaineer by Rexosaurus. Pretty interesting one here, lots of jump transitions and a lot of grass to road transitions to make you automatically drift. Yeah, just lots of jumping around. Some of these turns can prove pretty difficult, so just be aware of that. Really, the only major issue I had with this is like just one blind corner that's coming up here soon. Should be right down here. You gotta make sure you turn hard left, otherwise you'll smack that wall and ruin basically every run you do like I did. But hey, there's a finish already. The track of the day for September 10th was Hibiscus by Pika Blue. We got a full speed track here, and honestly, I don't know. I didn't really care too much for this. Looking at it and watching replays of how I did on it, it looks fine, but to play, it actually felt pretty awkward. I don't really know what to point to that made it feel that way. It just did. It kind of felt like a full speed track built by someone who maybe didn't know all the like the little nuances to full speed. But hey, I don't want to criticize it too harshly. Got a couple magnetic sections, but really obviously just hammer on the gas and just to keep going. I think this was the worst part here. Getting this turned down and getting through this loop without smacking in that left side there was really the biggest problem I had with this one. But then just a simple jump to any of these three finishes here will close it out. The track of the day for September 11th was NASCAR Phase 9 by Priez. This may have been a full speed, but I did slow down or brake at a couple different corners here and there. I even bonked a couple spots, and as you can see, this is my first attempt on the track and still got gold by plenty even with the bonks. So this one really shouldn't be a problem for many people. Just drive, again, like I've been saying on a couple other tracks, just drive what's given to you and you should be able to easily get gold on this one. The only thing other really to mention is that this is a multi-lap track. But yeah, not much else to commentate on this one, so enjoy the rest of this drive. The track of the day for September 12th was Castle Assault by Toxilisk. Pretty easy one here. Most of the beginning is full speed. There's really only one turn where I had to slow down, which is probably better off if you drifted the section that I did slow down on, which is for a little bit here. There is one little bit of a tricky section here on this dirt turn, but it's really not that bad. And then going up to the finish, there will be another tricky section, which I'll talk about when we get there, but here's the turn where I slowed down a lot. Maybe could have taken that full speed, maybe drift, but who knows. But right here, just make sure you go left or right once you get out. That did surprise me a few times, but just keep turning slightly to the side and you will get to the finish. The track of the day for September 13th was Amarok by Rextor. This one is basically mostly dirt track other than that loop there. And it can drive much faster than you really expect you can, which threw me off a bit. I was driving this pretty slow until I realized I should mostly just keep hammering on the gas. But really not much to say about this one. There are a couple tricky sections. One right here, we got to go a little bit back and forth, hit that building plenty of times. And the other hardest part will be coming up here soon near the end where you get this reactor boost. Make sure you just stay hard inside on this, otherwise you'll fly off to the left. Even I bonked there, still got it done. The track of the day for September 14th was Mountain Pass by Mimic TM. Starting off here, we got a long winding half bobsled into dirt, which is most of the track. Dirt and ice, I should say. It's 50-50. But really just a couple long winding areas. Should be more dirt here into a dirt wall ride, then back onto an ice after this. Just, yeah, long winding turns. Big ice turn here. Just go sideways on that, come back down, back onto some more dirt. And then I think we got an ice wall ride here. Stay kind of in the middle the entire way, and you should be perfectly fine, but then back onto dirt, and I believe the finish is right here. Not a bad track overall, even got a author on it by quite a bit. The track of the day for September 15th was Outsider by Roxy. This is a very heavily tech-focused track with very difficult tech turns at seemingly every couple seconds worth of track. Not much really to say about it, just drift every single corner you can see basically. Even the end is a bit tough and can ruin your whole run with some pillars right before the finish line that you can't really see until you're right there. So be aware that can ruin your whole run that you did right at the finish line, which will be coming up here in a couple seconds. The track of the day for September 16th was Invasion by Pop Hip. This one, despite not spending too much time on to complete it, I didn't really care for it nonetheless. Just felt like AI generated. It felt like just pieces were just thrown in places for seemingly no reason whatsoever. Especially at the beginning. The back half of the track kind of makes more sense. The beginning track was just very awkward. But a couple drifts here and there. Really not much to this one after that awkward first part of it. Tight turn there. But really not much to it after this point. The track of the day for September 17th was Desert Dunes by Nick Rev. Pretty difficult start there, trying to stay on that block. Really, the whole first part of this track is pretty difficult with narrow pathways through some sand. Gotta watch out so you don't keep hitting those. It'll slow you down a ton and pretty much prevent you from getting gold. But it's a fairly short track, but just narrow pathways. It eventually winds out here. Then we got a bit of a dirt wall ride coming up, and I think after this it's just kind of straight to the finish after a little bit of a jump here. The track of the day for September 18th was Road Made of Bread by Bass Bass. Interesting one here. We have like probably the first ever maybe full sausage track. I can't quite recall. Maybe there's been one more. But really this was, yeah, just all sausage. pretty difficult at times to stay in connection to the track, but overall, had a good time with this one. Pretty straightforward. After this, there's a little bit of back and forth after this little section here. Just a little back and forth, and then the finish will be right after that. The track of the day for September 19th was Edinburgh by Nick Rev, and wow, look at that time limit and resets on this one. This was quite a challenging track, mainly for 2 points. The beginning section is easily bonkable if you don't take the corner correctly, because the fence might as well be invisible since it's black and the road is black, so you can just hardly ever see it. Really, this is one of the harder parts right here, maintaining enough speed to get through this and out through this section here, this jump coming up. I really needed like 413 speed in order to not clip that edge. I did read people saying that you only need 405, but I cannot make it. Even if I had 410, I would still clip the end of it and flip. So I really needed like 413, that was the smoothest I could make it. But pretty easy part here, just go through this loop with the booster and jump to the finish. The track of the day for September 20th was Skyline City by Anita Wushel. Pretty simple track here, honestly. A little bit of full speeder at the start, and then once we hit this dirt section coming up, make sure you go into it wide and then turn back into this, otherwise you'll have a horrible checkpoint like I did earlier. But otherwise, you go through this, get this boost, and you will go up this wall. Have a big jump. You maybe should slow down to go underneath that, but I still got gold fine nonetheless. Well, there's a boost here into where it will automatically flip you. Just make sure you air brake at the correct time. Almost missed this. Just make sure you go outside to back inside. Then we got a bit of a wall right here, which I didn't take too great. But then just a jump here, and then there's a small boost you can hit for a little bit of speed into the finish. The track of the day for September 21st is Bay of Islands by HTIMH. Immediately take this left here into this tunnel. Do not take the right path through the sand, like I did many a times. Make sure you watch the GPS or refer to this run if you are trying this track, because there are plenty of areas where you can easily go the wrong direction, including one coming up very soon here on a dirt section where you can take a jump to the left instead of taking a long jump to the checkpoint, losing a ton of speed and time. There will also be another section very similar here coming up on the sausage blocks where you can jump to the left instead of a jump off the sausage block, again losing plenty of time. And you really need all that speed for this long jump to the next part, so you don't eat a ton of time and speed on this penalty sand. And still here, another jump onto penalty sand where you take this extremely slow. Did not care for these couple of sections. And there's even another one coming up into the finish line, which you can barely see. It's in between two palm trees. I had absolutely no idea where the finish was, again, until I watched the GPS, because you cannot see the finish. So make sure you jump a little right there. I didn't even go right far enough, but there's a finish between those two trees. The track of the day for September 22nd is Time Warp by Prof 10. Pretty straightforward track here once you go through it a couple times. Really, if you're trying to get down the first few attempts, the only thing that'll throw you off are the slow down followed by boost sections, which really just throws off your timing a little bit, but otherwise a pretty straightforward track. There are a few areas where you can bonk a little bit easily if you're not prepared for them, with very tight sections like that. Otherwise, the end can be a little tricky as well. That'll be coming up here in a few seconds. Just make sure you go hard inside. I went outside here and was actually able to squeeze through that and still get the gold, but take the right side if you can. The track of the day for September 23rd was Desert Fest by Neil Ryan TM. Pretty straightforward track here, minus one section, which is coming right up after this little tricky wall ride here. But really just coming here straight as you can. You got that top-down view, which I didn't really care for, but Just go in as straight as you can and you should be fine. Watch out for those rocks on the left. You can bonk on those, but really the rest of this is just a bit of a drive forward, a turn here, and then just straight to the finish after that. The track of the day for September 24th is Spectre by Toxilisk yet again. It's like the third or fourth track by this creator this month. But here, just go up high and then go low and then just jump out as high as you can on that piece. Pretty easy. Right here, sausage block, stay on the inside and then just jump over everything. Then a little bit of a dirt turn here, not too bad overall. Just keep going full speed. You can go full through all of this. Unfortunately, I didn't have enough speed to make it all the way over that jump, but still perfectly fine. Pretty easy loop here, and then the trickiest part coming up here is at the end. Just go through these bushes, or trees if you can, and into the finish. The track of the day for September 25th is Indiana Jones by Pop Hip. Pretty simple track here. It's mostly dirt. Only sections I didn't care for and really are the toughest parts are going through those little areas. One thing to watch out for are the bridges, which are magnetic, which makes it a little bit easier once you realize that. Thinking you can maybe slide on them, but you actually don't. Couple jumps here and there, but mostly the toughest parts are through the little keyways. I even bonked there earlier, still gonna get the gold. Pretty tough, like blindish turns there, but then just drive straight to the finish. The track of the day for September 26th is Gold Rush by Mikey. Pretty sure this is a full speed track, though it doesn't really look like it is. You can definitely hit that gas the whole way. It's a pretty easy track, not much to it. Couple wall rides, couple loops. Really the only mention here for this loop is when you come out, just immediately go left, otherwise you'll slam into the wall in front of you here. Go in a bit early and you'll be forced down into correct spots. Got a bit of a jump here. Luckily hit that turbo. Not sure if you're supposed to, but another wall ride here. Go in high and it'll force you back down. And then we got an engine off section, but you can just coast right into the end. The track of the day for September 27th is yet another NASCAR track. It is NASCAR Trainyard by Priez again. NASCAR fan we got here. Pretty easy track. I don't know if this was full speed or not again, but it probably is. You can go left or right here. I went right both times, so I'm not sure what is to the left, but hey, does it really matter? Looks like we got this on the first attempt again. Just like the other NASCAR track. I think this is another multi-lap one. Even bonked a few times on this, still ended up getting gold. So pretty easy one, pretty long one, so not much really else to commentate on. So enjoy the next minute or so of me driving this. The track of the day for September 28th was Parking Lot by Scalones 1. This was an interesting one. I quite liked it. A bit of jumping going on here at the start. No big deal here. Just angle your car a little bit to the left so you can make this turn. And then again, far right there, so you can drift into that, no problem. The rest, you can get a couple drifts in here or just slow down a little bit. But pretty easy track. Only took a few minutes to get this one done. The track of the day for September 29th was Temple of the Unknown by Doby. I believe this was another full speed track in a month full of full speed tracks. So again, this one was over pretty early as I quite enjoy full speed. That's where I spend the majority of my time. So it was a fairly easy track for me here. A couple loops. I did nearly mess up at one point if I remember correctly. It should be coming up soon here. Where I just turned absolutely horribly. I think it might be after this loop here. But I was able to recover. Yeah, right there. I don't know why I was trying to go wide, but I somehow recovered that. I have no idea how. Then I think we just got another loop here, and then the finish should be shortly thereafter. Oh yeah, don't try to go into one of those. I did many a times. Did not work out, but there's the finish there. The track of the day for September 30th was Dino Den by Rextor. Pretty nice map here. The only complaint I have about it is the lighting. It made it hard to see which spots were grass at points and which spots were just regular road. That's really my only complaint. It was a pretty cool track though. Really not much else to complain about. The end was a bit tough. I think there was a wall ride, which I always lost a lot of speed on. Almost lost to gold here. Barely snuck it out. But a pretty cool themed track nonetheless. I quite enjoyed it. And there you have it, the tracks for September 2020, all golded. Pretty easy month, honestly. I feel like there's one or two tracks and we maybe spent a much longer time than average on, but overall I feel most of the tracks were pretty easy this month. Definitely compared to August, it was far easier, maybe on par, maybe even easier than the July 2020 tracks. It felt like there was a good mix between ice, tech, and full speed tracks. Although it did feel a bit more dominated by full speed this month, which helped me out a little bit since really I've way more practice on full speed stuff. But we're on to October now, so we'll see what that brings us. Maybe we'll have more ice, maybe we'll have more tech, who knows. But that is going to be it for this video. If you enjoyed, be sure to like and subscribe, and be sure to check the descriptions for links to my Twitch and Twitter. Also, check out the other Trackmania videos I've done. We do the track of the days every single day, so plenty of videos to look at there. But thanks everyone for watching, and I will see you next time.